What if I told you that the person at the center of most of the chaos on Sister Wives isn't Cody, isn't Christine, and isn't even the other wives? No, it's actually Robyn Brown. Yes, the one who waltzed into this polygamous family and somehow managed to make everything about her, and I mean everything. What if I told you that beneath all those sweet smiles and tearful speeches, Robyn has been pulling strings and manipulating situations for years, all while maintaining the image of a poor, misunderstood victim? Trust me, there's more to her than what you see on TV. Hi, friends. It's Aliva here from TLC's Sister Wives Secret. And today, we're about to peel back the curtain and get into the real Robyn Brown, the woman who's been orchestrating some of the most dysfunctional dynamics in this family, all while pretending to be innocent and selfless. It's about time we talk about the truth behind the manipulative tactics, the double standards, and the downright self serving behavior that have been at the heart of the show's most dramatic moments. I'm not here to just give you the highlights. We're diving deep into how Robyn has managed to manipulate her way to the top of this family, tearing apart the very foundation of the Brown household. And let me tell you, what you thought was happening on screen, it's only half the story. So buckle up, because by the end of this video, you'll see exactly how Robyn Brown has been playing the game all along and how it's been destroying this family from the inside out. Stay tuned and make sure you're subscribed because things are about to get real messy. From the very first time Robyn Brown entered the Sister Wives world, it was clear she wasn't your typical sister wife. While the other women seemed to have a collective approach to their family's dynamics, Robyn stood out for one reason. It was always about her. She didn't just join the family, she quickly made herself the center of attention, and not in the way you might expect. Instead of seamlessly blending into the Brown family's already complex polygamous setup, Robyn's presence created a ripple effect. And not the good kind. At first, it seemed harmless enough. She was the new wife, after all. She had to adjust, right? She had kids from a previous marriage and needed support from the family. But what happened next was telling. Robyn's emotional displays, her constant tears, and her relentless search for validation began to feel less about genuine connection and more about establishing her place in the family hierarchy. Over time, it became clear that Robyn was using every ounce of emotion to manipulate the narrative to fit her agenda, painting herself as the misunderstood, selfless wife who just wanted to be loved and accepted. Remember those early seasons when Robyn would break down in front of Cody or the other wives, constantly claiming that she was being left out or ignored? Sure, there were moments where she did face challenges adjusting to the family, but let's be real here. There's a huge difference between vulnerability and using vulnerability for emotional leverage. Robyn turned every struggle into an opportunity to be the focus. Every issue was about her feelings, her heartbreak, and her struggles. While the other wives were expected to just take it all in stride, Robyn's pain was always amplified. And who was there to comfort her? Cody. In those early seasons, her innocent persona was charming. It was easy to sympathize with her, especially when she was often portrayed as the poor woman struggling to find her place in an already established family. But as the show progressed, cracks began to show. Robyn's genuine need for attention morphed into a more calculated approach. Her emotional manipulation became clearer. The tears weren't just for sympathy, they were a tool she used to get what she wanted. Take the times when she would make Cody feel guilty for spending too much time with the other wives or focusing on their kids and how quickly he would cave. Robyn learned early on that if she played the victim card hard enough, she could control the narrative and the family. If you thought Robyn's emotional manipulation was just a series of isolated incidents, think again. Robyn Brown has perfected the art of gaslighting, making everyone question their own reality in favor of hers. It's almost like a game to her, one where she subtly distorts the truth to ensure that she's the one with the upper hand, especially when it comes to Cody and the other wives. One of the most obvious examples of this is her dynamic with Mary. From the very beginning, Robyn knew how to work the room. She often played the role of the vulnerable wife who just needed reassurance, all while quietly sowing seeds of doubt in the minds of the others. Take her relationship with Mary, for example. Robyn would make Mary feel like she was the one in the wrong, even when Mary's actions were reasonable. Robyn's subtle comments and manipulative behavior, such as turning Mary's genuine concerns into something she had over-exaggerated, painted Mary as the villain in many situations. A classic tactic of Robyn's? Denying the validity of the other wives' emotions. Robyn knows how to twist a situation so that she is portrayed as the victim. This tactic works wonders with Cody, who often seems to lose sight of the bigger picture when Robyn pulls out the poor me card. She'll point out how the other wives are being so hard on her or how she's being unfairly judged. And before you know it, Cody is there, comforting her and telling her that she deserves better. The entire family's dynamic starts shifting, and suddenly, Robyn is the one everyone is trying to protect. But this isn't just about getting Cody to sympathize. Robyn's gaslighting extends beyond him. She has used her "I'm misunderstood" routine to create divisions within the family. With her emotionally charged stories about how others are out to get her, Robyn subtly manipulates the perception of the other wives, making them seem like the aggressors. She taps into that vulnerable space where family loyalty is tested, ensuring that people start questioning who's really on her side. The "everyone's against me" narrative isn't just a momentary tactic, it's a way of life for Robyn. It creates an environment where her behavior can never truly be questioned because it's always painted as part of her hardships. The more she plays the victim, the more the rest of the family gets sucked into her web of emotional manipulation. Robyn thrives on conflict. It keeps her in the spotlight and reinforces her narrative that she's the one who's constantly under attack. What better way to manipulate than to make everyone feel like they're the ones in the wrong, while she remains the innocent, misunderstood woman just trying to fit in? The truth is, Robyn isn't just dividing the family, she's turning everyone's reality upside down, ensuring that her position within the family remains unchallenged. When it comes to Robyn Brown, there's one thing you can always count on: double standards. It's almost laughable how she can dish out criticism and judgment to others, especially Christine, while conveniently forgetting her own actions and decisions. Take, for example, Robyn's treatment of Christine when she decided to leave the family. Robyn was quick to accuse Christine of abandoning her family, as if she had any moral high ground to stand on. But let's pump the brakes here for a second, because Robyn's own history doesn't exactly paint her as the picture of loyalty either. Let's rewind and take a closer look at Robyn's past. Robyn left her first marriage, an act that she doesn't shy away from when it's beneficial to her narrative. Yet, when Christine made the decision to leave Cody, Robyn acted like it was the ultimate betrayal. Robyn's hypocrisy isn't just on full display here, it's practically screaming for attention. While Christine was making a decision based on her own emotional and mental well being, Robyn seemed to forget that she herself opted out of a marriage before, even leaving her first husband behind with no hesitation. But here's where Robyn's manipulative nature shines through. She completely ignored the emotional turmoil Christine was likely experiencing, while using her own experiences to paint Christine as someone who didn't care about the family. Robyn's tactic? Shifting the narrative to make herself the one who values family above all else, while condemning Christine for doing the exact same thing that Robyn had done, leaving a marriage that no longer worked. It's a classic example of Robyn deflecting attention from her own past and projecting blame onto others. Robyn is a master of shifting the blame game. She doesn't hesitate to use Christine's decision as a tool to further her own agenda. By framing Christine as a villain, she positions herself as the loyal wife who would never walk away from Cody, even when that's not the case. Robyn's version of events always centers around her own need to be seen as the right one, the one who understands Cody best, the one who is willing to work through the issues, the one who can never be the bad guy. What makes Robyn's hypocrisy even more glaring is her attempt to turn the family against Christine. She uses her selective sharing of information to manipulate others into seeing the situation the way she wants them to. With each conversation, she carefully crafts a narrative that makes Christine seem like the one who failed the family, all while Robyn is casting herself as the ultimate martyr. The blame game becomes all too real when she uses Cody as her pawn, pitting him against the other wives, all while making herself look like the loving, understanding wife who's just trying to keep it all together. It's so transparent how Robyn manipulates the situation to make herself look like the victim while condemning Christine for actions she herself has taken in the past. And the worst part? Robyn rarely, if ever, owns up to her own contradictions. Instead, she keeps pushing her narrative that she is the one who's been wronged, even though she's often doing the exact thing she criticizes others for. This kind of selective morality is not only frustrating, but it also contributes to the toxic family dynamic, making it harder for anyone to see the truth. When you add it all up, Robyn's hypocrisy isn't just a small flaw, it's the core of how she manipulates the entire situation to stay in control, while pretending to be the innocent bystander. She's quick to judge and slow to accept any responsibility for her own actions. And in doing so, she causes unnecessary rifts that tear the family apart. When we talk about Robyn Brown, we have to acknowledge one of the most significant aspects of her behavior: the financial perks that seem to come with being Cody's favorite wife. While the other wives have long struggled with the emotional and logistical challenges of polygamy, Robyn appears to have managed to carve out a lifestyle that's more than just comfortable. In fact, the reality of her situation makes it seem like her role in the family isn't just about love or family unity. It's also about securing a certain level of financial stability that has afforded her luxuries many of the others can't even imagine. One of the most glaring examples of this financial security is Robyn's nanny situation. Let's be honest, she practically flaunts her ability to have someone take care of her children, giving her the freedom to shop, travel, and live life without the daily struggles that the other wives face. It's not just a luxury, it's an indicator that Robyn's attachment to Cody and the family isn't purely based on emotional bonds, but on what he can provide her financially. Remember that time she casually mentioned her nanny on the show as though it was completely normal? As if every wife in the family had a full time helper just to juggle the chaos of multiple kids in a blended family. Robyn has managed to make herself the center of Cody's attention, not just emotionally, but financially. And it's hard to ignore how her situation is cushioned with perks that others don't have access to. Now let's talk about the material comforts that Robyn enjoys. While she plays the role of the self-sacrificing wife, always acting like she's fighting for family harmony, the reality is that her lifestyle often contradicts her words. Robyn has been known to indulge in shopping sprees, living in a home that's far more comfortable than anything the other wives are afforded, and showing off her newly acquired possessions as though it's a badge of honor. These material comforts don't align with the humble image she sometimes tries to project. Robyn wants the world to believe that she's just a loving wife, trying to maintain peace and unity within a complicated family structure. But the truth is, much of her behavior, from the shopping to the nanny, is a direct result of her desire to maintain a high level of financial comfort. And in her mind, that comfort is directly tied to her relationship with Cody. Let's not beat around the bush here. Robyn's attachment to Cody and his family has far more to do with maintaining her privileged lifestyle than any true, deep rooted love for him or commitment to the family unit. She knows that being the favorite wife, the one who can control the narrative, the one who can get Cody's undivided attention, means more financial security. The assets of the family, Coyote Pass, the homes, everything that's tied to Cody's wealth, have become her safety net, and she's not about to let that go. If she were truly invested in the idea of family unity and polygamy, she'd be willing to share more of the resources, energy, and attention with the other wives. But instead, it's all about cushioning her position and ensuring that she's well taken care of, financially and emotionally. Robyn's financial perks are a driving force behind her decisions. And while she'd like to paint herself as a peaceful, selfless wife, the truth is much murkier. Her role in the family, especially in terms of finances, isn't as altruistic as she wants us to believe. It's about securing her lifestyle and making sure her comforts are met, all at the expense of the others, who often seem to be left to deal with the fallout of her manipulation. It's impossible to talk about the dysfunction within the Brown family without acknowledging the glaring favoritism Cody shows towards Robyn. From the very beginning, it's been clear that Cody has a soft spot for Robyn. This isn't just a mild affection. It's an overt, almost obsessive preference that's only gotten worse over the years, While the other wives, especially Christine and Janelle, have fought for attention and recognition, Robyn has managed to become the center of Cody's universe, and the rest of the family knows it. Let's break down just how much this favoritism strains the family dynamic. Cody has repeatedly shown that when it comes down to making decisions, it's Robyn's desires that take precedence. Whether it's choosing where they'll live, how they'll spend their time, or even how they'll approach family challenges, Robyn's voice is the loudest and most influential. Take, for example, the way Cody completely ignored Christine's needs when she was vocal about her unhappiness in the marriage. Instead of supporting her, he brushed her concerns aside to cater to Robyn's emotional needs. It's as if he's willing to disregard everyone else to keep Robyn happy, creating an emotional divide that no one can ignore. The fact that Cody frequently invalidates the feelings of his other wives, all for the sake of keeping Robyn content, is deeply toxic for the family. It's one thing to be in a plural marriage, but when one wife gets treated like the queen of the kingdom, the rest of the wives are left feeling neglected and unseen. Robyn's role in this dysfunction goes beyond just receiving Cody's attention. She actively exacerbates the emotional neglect towards the other wives. As Cody's emotional center, Robyn has consistently manipulated situations to keep herself in a position of power. She knows that Cody is weak when it comes to standing up to her, and she uses this to her advantage, subtly turning him against the others when it suits her. For instance, during moments of tension between the wives, Robyn doesn't exactly step in to mediate. Instead, she often fans the flames by making Cody feel like the others are attacking her, which only causes him to retreat further into her arms. Now, when Christine left the family, Robyn's reaction said everything about her need for control and stability. Instead of being supportive or understanding, Robyn seemed more concerned with how Christine's departure would impact her own life, especially her relationship with Cody. While Christine's exit was undeniably a blow to the family, Robyn didn't seem to care about the pain that caused. What bothered her most was the potential loss of control. Her emotional manipulation became apparent when she began pressuring Cody to not only maintain his attention on her, but to also ensure that Christine's decision didn't disrupt her own comfort zone. Robyn's reaction painted a picture of someone who isn't just worried about losing a sister wife. She's worried about losing the stability of her privileged position within the family. The way she spun the situation in her favor further reveals the self-serving nature of her relationship with Cody. The truth is, Cody's blind favoritism towards Robyn is the fuel to the fire that's slowly burning the family apart. Her constant manipulation, combined with Cody's emotional neglect of the other wives, has turned what could have been a functional plural marriage into an emotionally toxic environment. And as long as Robyn keeps pushing for more control and Cody continues to ignore the needs of everyone else, this dysfunction will only continue to grow. When most people think of polygamy, they envision a tight-knit, functional family where multiple wives share a common bond and commitment to the family structure. The reality, however, is far more complicated. And if there's one person who has twisted the ideal of polygamy for her own gain, it's Robyn Brown. From the very beginning, Robyn sold the idea of a unified polygamous family where all the wives would support one another, live in harmony, and work together to maintain a healthy family dynamic. But, as we've seen time and time again, Robyn's actions paint a different picture entirely. While she certainly claims to be fully invested in the idea of plural marriage, her behavior suggests something much more self-serving. In truth, Robyn has always been far more interested in having Cody all to herself than she has been in fostering the ideals of polygamy. She's used the concept of polygamy as a tool to secure her position, not just emotionally, but financially. In many ways, Robyn has turned polygamy into a means to an end. It's been a way for her to gain security, power, and the type of lifestyle she's always dreamed of. Yet the way she operates doesn't really reflect the values of plural marriage at all. Robyn has spent years maneuvering herself into the position of favorite wife, often manipulating Cody into believing she's a key figure in his ideal family structure. But beneath that surface, Robyn's desire has always been clear. She wants monogamy. At the heart of it, what Robyn truly wanted was a life with Cody, one where she doesn't have to share him with anyone else. Her repeated push for Cody's undivided attention and her willingness to twist the family's dynamics to fit her needs reveal that she wasn't ever fully invested in the idea of a plural marriage in the first place. Instead, Robyn has worked tirelessly to create a dynamic where she gets the best of both worlds: a man who financially supports her and a position of power within a larger family structure. Take, for instance, her approach to the family's living situation. While she constantly advocated for family unity and being together under one roof, it's clear that Robyn was more concerned with where she would live with Cody than what was best for the whole family. Her push for Cody's focus and her manipulation of the shared family finances further point to the fact that Robyn's attachment to the family wasn't rooted in a genuine commitment to plural marriage. Instead, it was about securing the lifestyle she craved. At its core, Robyn has successfully used the concept of polygamy to create a facade of family togetherness, all while securing herself a position of privileged security. Her tactics have left the rest of the wives in a perpetual state of imbalance, juggling not only their individual relationships with Cody, but also the emotional weight of Robyn's strategic manipulations. So, while Robyn might claim to be all in on the polygamous ideal, the reality is far different. She's been angling for a monogamous relationship with Cody, one where she's the only woman in his life. As the Brown family's story continues to unfold, it's impossible to ignore the growing distance between Robyn and the other wives, particularly Janelle and Christine. While Robyn likes to paint herself as the victim in these situations, it's hard to ignore how much of the family's fragmentation can be traced back to her manipulative influence. When you really break it down, Robyn's role in the family has been a driving force in the breakdown of relationships, both emotional and financial. Janelle, for instance, was once the picture of independence within the family, a woman who had no problem carving her own path, yet even she started to distance herself from the dynamic as Robyn's manipulations grew more evident. Janelle's desire for a stable, peaceful life clashed with Robyn's more self centered approach, and as we saw in later seasons, the divide between them deepened. Janelle, who had always been willing to adapt and compromise, started to see through Robyn's need to control and win Cody's favor at any cost. Her eventual decision to step back was a direct result of feeling alienated within her own family, a family that was no longer what it once was. Christine, on the other hand, bore the brunt of Robyn's emotional tactics for years. Her departure from the family was an emotional and psychological breaking point. Christine had always been the nurturer, the one who genuinely believed in polygamy's potential to create a beautiful family structure. But Robyn's actions made that belief feel like a fantasy rather than a reality. When Christine finally left, it was clear that Robyn's emotional manipulation, constantly positioning herself as the victim and Cody's priority, had pushed her too far. Christine's exit wasn't just a personal decision. It was the culmination of years of Robyn eroding the family's cohesion and unity, manipulating Cody and pushing everyone else out of the picture. The financial strain the family faces is also tied directly to Robyn's behavior. The endless discussions about Coyote Pass, the failed attempts to build a family home, and the constant juggling of finances show just how much Robyn's self-interested decisions have impacted the family as a whole. Her insistence on getting what she wants, often at the expense of the other wives, has created an environment where the Brown family cannot move forward as a unified unit. The financial uncertainty, especially when it comes to property and investments, has become a source of tension. And it's not just about money, it's about Robyn's unchecked desire for control over the family's assets. She doesn't seem to understand or care that her pursuit of financial and emotional security has jeopardized the family's sense of unity. Finally, let's not forget the emotional toll this has taken on the children. With so much upheaval, karma's coming for Robyn. There's no escaping it. As we've watched Robyn manipulate her way to the top, prioritize her own needs, and systematically dismantle the unity of the Brown family, it's become clear that her actions will eventually catch up with her. The facade of the perfect wife, the selfless mother, will crack, and when it does, the reality of her self-serving nature will be laid bare. The Brown family is already feeling the consequences of Robyn's behavior, and there's no telling how much longer she can maintain her grip on Cody and the family dynamic. As time goes on, the cracks in her carefully curated image will only grow wider, and the consequences of her selfish decisions will have ripple effects that could irreparably damage the family. The ultimate fallout for Robyn could be far more devastating than she expects. As the other wives continue to move on with their lives, finding independence and healing from years of emotional turmoil, Robyn could find herself increasingly isolated. The relationships that she has strained so badly could never return to what they once were, and that's something she'll have to reckon with in the years to come. Cody may stand by her for now, but even his blind favoritism may wear thin once the full weight of the family's pain catches up to him. This isn't just about the drama on sister wives, it's about real, lasting consequences. Robyn's manipulation has already torn apart so much, and we're left to wonder how much longer this family can endure the emotional and financial wreckage she's caused. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think? Is Robyn getting what's coming to her? How do you think the Brown family will evolve after all of this drama? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video if you want more in-depth commentary on everything Sister Wives. And hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button for more. I'll be back soon with more juicy analysis and commentary. Until then, take care, friends.